I'll have to read, I thought the planning board had in MGL, I'll have to read it myself. I thought they had the authority for any subcommittees that they put
Yes.
together. Like if we had a master plan or something like that, that was in the planning board since we're in charge of zoning.
Well, if we're in favor of it,
Appointed by the select board.
I just wanted, the reason I wanted to get this is I wanted you there tomorrow night.
I will still come tomorrow night, even if I'm not a voting member.
Okay.
I'm happy to come and be part of the crowd.
Good.
And the packet is online, so if you wanted to look at it.
Very good, I will. Thank you, Delia.
can we at least make a motion in one way or the other, at least to either appoint or to recommend appointment? And then if we have to go the other way, we can do that, but at least make the effort to.
We'll do it both ways.
Okay, perfect.
Make a conditional appointment, conditional on clarification of the board's authority to appoint.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll,
Right that way,
That's fine.
you know, and I don't know, I don't recall anything in general laws that talk about anything like that, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm not gonna go there, but I don't know, it just seems that
Because we're
the
elected.
planning board formed the subcommittee.
Yeah.
The select board did not form the subcommittee. They had nothing to do with it.
But there are other subcommittees for other boards and committees, and the select board is always the appointing authority.
Right, because
they're the
they are
appointing-
appointed, we're
Yeah.
elected.
yeah, anyhow, let's just,
So you want to amend your motion to,
yep, I amended so that we will do
Conditional.
a recommendation to the select board for the appointment, but I'm gonna do some research myself, cause I don't remember.
I think Norm amended it to motion to appoint Amanda contingent on
Yeah.
confirming planning board authorization to appoint.
And I'll second that.
is that what you want, Tim?
Yes,
Yes, okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think she'd be a great asset, so I love it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I don't know, you still would have to be sworn in,
Sure.
but I don't think it would be appropriate for you to get sworn in until we do get the clarification.
Yeah, I mean,
That could be putting a town clerk in a tight spot.
I just wanted to avoid kicking the can to next meeting
Yeah, I
to
know,
wait
I
to
know,
move.
I know. So, anyway, that's, I'm gonna just give you that as advice.
Thank
That
you.
it probably wouldn't be appropriate for you to try to get sworn in yet,
Okay.
you know? So, okay, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item on the agenda, scenic roads bylaw violation. Feedback from historical commission and conservation commission, and we have that in our packet.
Conservation, we did, Concom we did.
Okay. So Concom,
I don't think we've received anything officially from Historical Commission. They got their meeting moved back today.
They did email me
Oh,
just
they
a couple
did?
minutes ago.
Okay.
Mhm. Their recommendation for compensatory actions would be to restore the stone wall to the appropriate aesthetic, subject to the historical commission approval. The timeline, they would like it to be done by September 1st. Violation to perform timely, the compensatory action fine of $300 for each week the violation exists, which is what the bylaw states, so.
Are they recommending the fine in addition to the wall being repaired or restored? I should
Oh,
say.
they're fine, they're fine.
Can somebody put themselves on mute, please?
They're recommending a fine of $300
After September,
I think that's
for
oh,
each week, yeah, after,
after September.
correct.
if the compensatory actions aren't done, that's what they're saying.
Correct.
Yeah,
Mhm. This is a draft of the letter that we have so far.
I thought the bylaw said it was $300 a week from when the infraction occurred.
Daily.
yeah.
Daily?
It was daily.
Let me double.
Okay, we as a town need to raise some money, what are we arguing over? He's on, I have the date of, I have a picture with the date, I think it was the 1st or the 30th, it was a Monday. It starts then.
What the Concom just said, they gave them to September 1st to get it done.
Okay.
And then after that is when the fines could occur.
That's what they're recommending.
It's
That's their
per week.
recommendation.
It's per week,
Sure.
and based on the bylaw, per week.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Concom didn't give any.
Excuse me, not Concom, historic.
I think Concom did make a recommendation, in terms of the actions they would like to see.
Yes.
And I
That's
think
correct.
it was basically the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Put the
in
wall
terms of-
back to previous existing conditions,
I'm having a hard time scrolling
except
right
for the
now.
driveway opening.
You know, I'd probably,
Also recommended shrubbery.
Yeah,
yeah,
I noticed,
trees,
yeah.
shrubs. I'd say
Plants.
to, stone type, if it's okay to amend it. Cause you know he's gonna just use cheap stone.
Well, that's the thing,
I'm
is,
saying it has to be high-end stuff,
It-
but
I'd say it
It
needs to
should
be done
match.
by hand.
I say that it should be inspected by historic
Yeah,
before it's constructed.
before it's constructed and or, you know, if it gets. I've seen too many just slapped in there crap
Okay.
stuff and to me that's not right.
Well, he could provide a sample before they actually,
Yeah.
that the
Stone
historic
sample.
right, that the commission could approve, and then
Mhm.
the repair can commence from there.
Okay, just a couple of things, just to make sure that everybody knows what is really there. The stones were not removed from the site,
they were set aside.
they were set aside
With a bulldozer.
with a bulldozer. I don't care whether he used a bulldozer or he used a magic wand. That
I'd
does
be
not-
very interested if you used a magic wand.
I don't care.
Yeah,
What difference does it make?
Well,
Whether he-
It has to do
Well, I
with
think
respect for the wall and the historic nature of the road and respect for the town and its bylaws.
Right, and he could have destroyed the stones in the process if heavy machinery was used, we don't know, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm not going there.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely not. No.
but I like Delia's example, let's see what the sample is and his plan of getting it done. That's the
Considering
bottom line.
sample, I'm wondering maybe we could just take a recess right now and head straight over there because he has already replaced at least 40 feet of that stone wall. It's done.
Right, but it doesn't match what was already there. I drove past it on my way over here.
I drove past it this afternoon. And to be perfectly honest with you, as far as I'm concerned, it looks better than 90% of the stone wall.
But better is not, if I'm working, I was trained in preservation carpentry, right? If I was working on a house and I replaced all the house's windows with brand new Anderson 3000 windows, they might work better, they might even look better, but they do not fit the house and they make it look historically inaccurate. And it is a historic road. It's not just, oh, what looks good, or what does Blair want to give us for a bone when he decides he wants to fix it. It's what is the bylaw and what we said you needed to do versus what you actually did. Now fix it.
May I suggest we also ought to have, before anything is ever done, pictures, because it's supposed to be restored to what it looked like before. So, to me, you gotta be kinda careful, you don't want, you know, to have to hire somebody to come in and put a $5,000 stone wall in,
Well, I
unless you're
mean,
going
that's not,
5,000
but
feet.
respectfully, that's not the town's problem, because what should have been done is that an application was supposed to have been submitted, he's already in violation. The costs, that's not our concern.
I deal on the board, I think what should happen is, it's not our experience to say if it's been restored to what the historic preservation is, that we should have the historic commission go by and say acceptable or not acceptable, because they're the experts on what that wall needs to be like. That's my opinion.
I could buy that,
I mean, if they don't like it, to Alex's point, and it needs to be done something different to it, then tell us, and we'll tell the builder that
But
that's what's
they're
gotta
They're
happen.
gonna have to tell what different.
Yeah, just,
You know, you can't just say, I don't like it, try
If we
it.
could get a sample or a picture from them of something that would be suitable, do you think
Yeah.
that would be helpful? Like Delia had stated?
Yep, I just think instead of us trying to make the call for a commission that we don't have any authority over, let them tell us, is it good, not good?
Yeah.
If they're fine with it, I'm okay with it. If they want it changed to something else, then tell us what they want, and we'll say through a letter, either through Delia or through the board, this is what the expectation is, get it done.
And I'm more than all right with that. I wanna see these fines come. The town needs money. We're constantly paying for all this different stuff, and the town doesn't have any money. And he has a lot of work planned on Brintnal. And if we don't set the tone with what is to be expected, then things are never gonna change.
Okay, so, just so that we have the wording, so I think right now we're kind of up in the air in terms of the compensatory actions, so, let's just go, which commission is, what each commission is saying. So, the Historic Commission is saying, restore the stone wall to the original aesthetic, subject to Historical Commission approval. The Concom is saying restore to previously existing condition with the exception of the driveway opening. Are we okay with combining those two?
I'm fine with that.
I'm combining it, however, I just have another concern. How big a driveway opening?
That should be the cut that came from, Chris Kolowski, because he should have a driveway cut. This one, I'm gonna get in trouble again, aren't I? There should be a design plan for that driveway cut. That would, again, I don't know the details, cause I'm not the DPW director, but typically on a cut, you have I'm doing a 40-foot cut, 30-foot cut. That should be in some type of application that went to the DPW.
Could we just require that he provide us with a plan, drawings for his intent for that area? I think that would have been required had he submitted an application anyway. I think that's pretty fair, so we know exactly what his intentions are, because right now, technically, we have no idea what the intent is.
Should it come through DPW? If Chris is involved in this
Well,
thing,
then he should be able to provide those drawings
and
to
that's what
us
I'm
easily.
saying. Give
But
him a
it's the
call and say, hey,
applicant.
you've gotta
Well,
get an applicant.
we could do
We'll get
that,
all
or I
stuff,
think
whatever you gotta
the
get from
applicant
him.
should provide us with the drawings. Or the developer should provide us with the drawings, because again, I don't know if those drawings will actually indicate what you guys want to see.
No, it'll just be the driveway and that's it. It wouldn't show the
Right,
wall.
which we actually wanna see the wall. So we need to see the drawings.
On A&Rs, doesn't the engineer usually put a wall drawing,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I
And then
mean, you,
they put a cut, but typically the A&R doesn't have the application for the driveway cut done. They just put a 30-foot or 40-foot, whatever cut.
yeah,
They don't do the detail of it because it hasn't been done yet.
but I mean, does it put it back on the deed that there's a wall here,
No.
I guess is
No.
what I'm talking about,
No.
okay.
Cause that's in right away
How is the
area.
bylaw set up? Who's in charge? All this is,
I somewhat like Delia's,
DPW is definitely in charge of a driveway permit,
yes.
correct.
and I don't know, I think that's where it should come from.
Because wherever he puts the driveway, that's where the stone.
Wherever and how wide.
Yeah.
This is the other thing, and I'm kind of seeing, I think I'm taking a little different direction than I have on some of this other part. But I don't think he needs a 20-foot cut for a driveway,
Doesn't have to.
you know? And again, I don't know what a standard driveway
I
is,
think there's about
but I
10
would.
foot of driveway at my house. I mean,
would-
yeah,
would
20
say-
feet's a
I
lot.
would say 12 to 14 feet.
Yeah,
So, and if he goes to, Chris with a plan and it's showing a 20-foot cut, I don't think that's acceptable. But it may be acceptable to him, to Chris.
If the water and sewer is there also, it could be acceptable. Because they have to be separated, so one could be on one side of the driveway and one on the other side, so you could expand it out.
I like Delia's suggestion. Let's get a drawing like we would have gotten with the application with the driveway cut included per what Chris approved, and have that complete drawing in front of us, the Historical Commission and the Concon, and get feedback from them on that, because otherwise we're making a decision without the input of the other two that we really need.
And I think, looking at this, I'm looking at the bylaw, and it mentions that the tree warden, above their authority, they need to, like, put in a request for tree removal. So I think Chris should have some sort of, have been contacted for all the clear cutting that they did and stuff that was outside the road and everything. He should have had some sort of indication of what was there and stuff like that. I would think he could have a lot of good input in this.
Please make the document trail whole, that's a good idea.
Any tree cutting beyond the right of way that's on the property is by the developer or owner, but you're right, by the stone wall and the right of way, that's the tree warden's responsibility. Up to, well, there's a certain size too, if I remember. Again, I'm not 100% on this, but there was a certain size.
There is a size.
There's some big trees in there, though.
Yeah, and I don't know what was there, but I know.
They were all on the other side of the stone wall.
That, I do believe you are correct.
Yeah, if they're on the other side of the stone wall, we have nothing to do with it.
I think there were, yeah, I'll have to look at my pictures, because I walk the dogs there every day. I probably got something.
I just think.
It was one really big one.
Yeah, but there was a lot of brush in front of the wall too, so I'll have to.
So,
So I'm wondering if we can, cause I do think that the drawings would probably be the first step so we understand what is intended. I'm wondering if there's a way that we can say, once the drawings are received, there will need to be some sort of review of it, of the drawings
Yes.
and
yes.
Sign off by historic.
right, but I also wanna ensure that we make it clear that whatever is approved also needs to be completed within a certain timeline as well, and is also subject to fines if it's, if there is any delay. So I just wanna be sure that, this is kind of like a two-step
Yes.
process.
You're not gonna like my answer. I'd say he still has to pay the fine while we figure this out, because he should have come to us before he started cutting away at that wall. That's what I would say. But I don't know how well my hardline stance is gonna go over.
I think don't the fines have to start when the violation's
Town-
recorded or something like
In
that?
the town meeting is.
I have record of the violation on the 30th of July.
Yeah,
Or sorry,
I think-
30th of June.
But with the town, like written,
I would think that the violation occurs when you first touch the wall with intent to alter it. I mean, you don't commit murder when you get caught, like when they finally prosecute you. It happened at that point in time.
yeah. I mean,
But how is it
Tamika,
written
do you
in the
have-
bylaw?
Do you know when that happens?
How is it written up in the bylaw?
Okay, the way it's
Getting
written,
into the
the way
weeds.
it's written up in the bylaw, at least, and I'm just gonna go back, okay? I was on the committee that wrote the bylaw, okay? And I was probably one of the major authors of it. The intent of the fines was, if there was a failure to take the compensatory actions, then the fines would apply. That was the intent. It's not clearly written that way, I agree. But that was the intent.
I just think I like Delia's, let's get the request out to him to get those drawings, get him in front of and I would say CC with the drawings, us, the Historical Commission, so we're trying to eliminate the delay. And part of that drawing being sent back to the Historical Commission, the Concon and us, is that we would request the other two committees to look at it and send comments back to Delia, so you can put it all together, come before the planning board, and we make a decision. And then, like Delia said, the second part is once that decision is made with that drawing, then this letter goes out.
Well, no, actually, so
Okay.
what I'm suggesting is we make it clear that the first step is to request the drawings. And that we also make it clear that you know, there are additional steps to this, that the drawings are just the beginning. I just wanna make sure that we still we're not gonna face any issues in terms of the second stage, which is the drawings are just the beginning. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that what we could do is issue a second letter once the drawings are, we ascertain what we want with the driveway and the wall. And then we can issue a letter stating, you know, well, this is what we would like to see done, this is the deadline, and this is the fine if it's not met.
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
Okay, I'll buy that. I still don't think it would hurt to also get a hold
I
of
think they
Chris
mentioned it in
to see if a driveway permit has been issued.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Is Concom mentioned in the bylaw?
yes.
It is, okay,
So that's the reason they're.
that's why.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I just wanna keep this thing rolling and not get it hung up in committee, as they say in the Congress.
That's why I'm saying get a hold of Chris as well,
Yeah,
just to see if there is a driveway permit. And I'm gonna take some heat somewhere from this, I'm sure. But Delia, you haven't started yet, working with the building permits software, have you?
I have,
You have. Are you going into it regularly?
whenever I get a request to approve.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking,
that should be tied.
where he is cleared, I would bet he has requested the building permit.
Which means the driveway permit's tied to that building permit,
And there should be drawings.
correct?
Right, but I thought we established that it might not include the wall,
It may not include the wall.
which
but-
we
but-
need
but
to
if it shows
see.
the driveway,
Sure, but that's just a portion of what we need.
you know. I won't argue that, but it certainly makes it clear if he is showing a
You mean what the
14,
intent
if
is?
he's showing a 14-foot driveway, then we want the wall to be reconstructed for everything except that 14 feet.
Yeah.
That's what that would show
Okay,
us.
yeah.
That would show us.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So, anyway, so if you can try to look that up. Like I say, I can't believe that he would start clearing without having, well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
Don't make an assumption about,
How far of the
Make it-
wall did he
It's
build
all the
so
way
far?
down.
Did he get the whole thing, or
Oh,
he's-
yeah.
so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
proposed, if you will?
The whole length of the
The
lot?
whole length of the lot is gone, the wall.
No, I know, but you guys said he rebuilt something.
Oh.
I'm gonna
So how
say
far did he get? I guess?
30 to 40 feet of it.
Yeah, I'd say there's still probably a good 25-foot cut in it, if not a little more.
Yeah, and
Okay.
like I say, it just seems that the gap that's there is more than he needs for the driveway.
Correct,
That-
I would
that's-
assume
that's
that,
my
but they're
opinion.
still getting big trucks in it, that's neither
Yeah.
here nor there.
so I think we got a two-phase plan.
That's how it's looking, so I'll draft the first letter and I'll send it to the board and you guys can take a look at it. So the first phase will ask for drawings. I was thinking maybe we could also include a narrative as well, you know, just to explain what the intent is.
Mhm.
So a narrative and drawings for the proposed work to the disturbed area. That's the first phase, and then once we receive that and we've gotten comments from,
Historic?
right, and
Concom.
Concom, then we can proceed with, you know, the recommendations with regards to shrubs and that sort of thing, but we need to see what the plan is first.
Yeah,
Okay.
a narrative scope of work,
Mm-hmm,
I guess
perfect.
yep,
the shrubs can come up a little bit later.
correct, in the second phase. All right, sounds good.
There's some that we probably would like to see and some that we wouldn't.
But we should probably too,
Which
and maybe this is a
Tell us
side
about
note to
native
what
species.
Alex said, we should ask Chris, is there any questions about any of the trees that should have had?
I did check with him, and Chris wasn't, he didn't have any record of the trees in that
Okay.
area, so it's kind of,
It's one of the few places I don't think there was any trees
Okay,
within
I
the
just-
right of way.
I just know when we dealt with that other historic wall over on, oh God, it's where the Buffalo Farm is.
Oh, yeah.
What's
Hillside?
Hillside, yeah.
Hillside,
Chris had
yeah.
looked at some of them and said they're below my authority, so I really have no comment, is what he said. He had a number and I don't remember what that number was for the width of the tree
Yeah.
that he gets involved. So anyhow, just information.
Is it something that, maybe in the future, Chris or somebody should have pictures of
Actually have records of?
records.
I would think so,
Take
yeah.
pictures of all of
The whole town.
the entire town.
No,
Just
the scenic roads.
I don't-
He's suggesting.
I
That's
don't,
quite a few miles when you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
but I don't think it's Chris's responsibility since
No.
I hate to say this, but historic, yeah, that's what I was going with,
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah,
But for the trees though?
No, just for the scenic, the walls.
Just the walls.
The walls and also it could be for the trees too.
Yeah, the
but,
trees would be the tree warden, I would think, right?
But it would be one thing if you had pictures of,
The walls would
The area.
include the trees.
Yeah.
Let me just say, if you take pictures of the walls, you're gonna have the trees there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I just think we
9
should maybe
times out
make a
of 10,
suggestion.
the trees are gonna be in the wall.
I don't think
They're
we
growing around
should
them.
tell the historic commission to do it. We should make a suggestion that maybe for future development, since it's gonna happen,
yeah.
that some picture documentation of the existing scenic road walls within Rutland should be kept somewhere as a record. That's just a suggestion we could make to the historic.
I think that would be a good suggestion, cause I can tell you just from grading the road, as you get closer and closer, some of the, by the Warren Farm, some of that is starting to come down as they get a little closer and all that stuff, so that, if you ever had to do any repairs, that'd come in handy.
Okay. Interesting suggestion. Okay, we done with scenic roads.
Okay.
Anyway. Just a, by the way, he has also cleared in a second entrance to another lot on Brintnal. So right at the border, whatever you wanna call it, of the swamp, down
Yep,
at the bottom of the hill,
yep. He loves putting in those watts by the water.
which is interesting. He hasn't cleared a very wide path yet.
We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, we'll see, anyway, just of interest, okay. Next item, appointment of CMRPC Planning Board Delegate for fiscal year 26.
Yeah, we need to do that, because
I'm out. I
I'm
can't
out.
do it.
I'm out, I'm not,
guys, and Keith, you're working. That's the reason I
Yeah.
took your place.
Yeah, I think we kinda swapped, I don't know if you're interested.
But I don't wanna commit because I'm just 9 months and then I gotta go through an election again. Do you really wanna do that? I mean, I will. I work well with Janet
I think you're a
and that
good
team.
representative.
Yeah.
Well spoken.
Try it.
I'm fine, but,
please,
Yeah.
alright. Cause only reason I'm hesitant is cause I'm now chairman of the RDIC and then planning board and this with my work. Sure. Sure, I'll make the meetings.
Thank you, Tim. Much
we
appreciated.
need a vote for that, I think.
Yes. Cause we appoint to the CMRPC and the select board does the same thing. Select board actually has an alternate and we never did, so I would say we,
You made a motion to appoint Tim.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll vote for
Aye.
myself.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, next item, Brice Estates construction update, 7/24 site visit.
Before we get into that, Julie, I saw your email at 5:11 today from Brian, is it Borkland? I can't, I'm probably bad with the last name.
What am I looking for?
Before we get into that, I wanted to discuss that email on,
Well, I mean, keep in mind that it's not on the agenda, so let's
Oh.
just keep it restricted to just the
just the site visit.
construction update, yeah.
Okay.
I am in favor of throwing it out the window. I don't like it.
What?
I'm gonna be careful how I hang on to it.
Oh, that's the culvert crossing?
I guess I wanna ask the board something, because I took the opportunity, you two were in the room when I said it, that I talked to the deputy director of the DEP, Jim.
Okay.
Well, when I was talking about getting the stormwater plan, my discussion with him, which I wasn't representing the planning board, I just was asking questions, was they were still in negotiations, and he didn't put any names, he said the developer, on this crossing. And I said, well, it's under construction, and the answer I got, well, that's at the risk of the developer, not the DEP. So my concern is talking about this construction update, do we have any documentation from the DEP or DCR on what's going on? And that's why I was gonna look at Tamika, has she got anything in, or Delia, have you got anything in from the DEP or DCR
No, I
on a
have,
decision?
no.
Okay,
And the Conservation Commission has not issued the amended order of conditions because we have not gotten the okay from DEP and DCR. So the construction is taking place, as he said, at the risk of the developer.
okay, that's all I wanted to put out to the planning board, is that, yes, it might be done, it might be ready to go, but
I think that's really important to note, especially if you watch Concom. They say that they have met everything and they are willing to ready to proceed, but they never say that they have the okay from DEP. So I think that's a very valid point.
and to Dick's point, that's the reason why I said, okay, it's constructed, it's there, but we as a board,
Right,
for
as a
our
board, approved.
conditions, don't have it signed off yet. It's, the last I heard, it was in a holding pattern until the DEP and DCR made a decision.
And to me, right now,
I've heard differently
That's-
from the
that's a-
developer, so it's weird, I mean,
Yeah, well,
that's a major
we're getting
change.
conflicting reports. I did contact DCR, ask with them, with my contact information, so that they can update me, because I had no idea until Tamika emailed me. So I did provide them with my contact information to let me know where we are, I have not heard back, so.
Okay. That's all I want to bring to the board is, I'm sort of, to me, me personally, I'm in a holding pattern until the DCR and DEP gives a ruling on this.
So, yeah.
And I'm not in favor of this dirt floor that they have in this thing. 30 years from now, unless DEP signs off that they will replace it if something fails, because they're putting this thing in for DEP because of environmental, for whatever they want to get across the stream. And to me, for crying out loud, it's not right. No way. We got enough problems that are starting to accumulate. I don't want to see anything in the future.
The only thing,
And I want to, well, why didn't they come to us and say, hey, this is what we're gonna plan on doing? Seeing as how you have to, the planning board has to sign off on this.
that was the portion, Diddy, I might be, you can tell me if I'm out of line. This plan, this updated plan of this crossing was never submitted to us early on before the DCR and DEP got involved in this. So as far as we're concerned, I was gonna ask the board, is this considered a major change or a minor change to the construction?
major.
That's, Alex, you're not getting an argument out of me on that one. Because if it's a major, the issue is there's potential hearing that has to be reopened up, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the reason why I wanted to put it before the board. I'm not making a decision either way, I just wanna put that information out, see what the board thinks. Did any input you have too, cause
No, you can comment on that,
Okay.
I'll reserve my comments for afterwards.
I'm just,
I,
in a sense, I'm sure it is major. In terms of the impact of what we have control over, I really don't think so. If it was gonna cause the elevation of the roadways on either side to be impacted up or down, or the orientation of the roads moved 15 feet one way, 15 feet the other way, the grade was gonna be 6% as opposed to 4%, yes. Okay, but if none of that is happening, then I don't really see that it is major.
But what about the structural integrity of the road and the culvert and all? I mean, given the pattern of behavior exhibited by this developer in the past, I cannot believe that this culvert is anything but a cost-saving technique. I don't in any way believe that it's gonna perform the same way that what was previously approved by this board. the quality of the roads that I've seen in the past gives me pause, to put it lightly.
And that's why, Norm, I wanted to hold off until we get something from the DCR and DEP, because we're sort of shooting in the dark until we get an official letter from them. And that's, I just wanted to bring it up that I really,
Unfortunately, we never get anything from them.
you know,
Well,
Well, I
and
think
that's
it-
not, and that should not be. And I also want to mention that given the complexity of the subdivisions, it's advisable, in my professional opinion, that you should consider expanding your consulting team. Because, now you're getting into waters that exceed Quinn Engineering's expertise. I can tell you that you have an environmental impact report for Brice Estates. So it should contain mitigating, factors with regards to any sort of environmental issues. Why aren't those being implemented? Why are we having problems with, and complaints about water runoff and that sort of thing? We need expert advice to advise the planning board what they should be doing. DEP is working with regards to what DEP is responsible for. Same with DCR. The developer is protecting their interests. The planning board, I think, should have the expertise that you need to advise the town. Right now, the town is exposed. We're relying on DEP to do their job and to hopefully cover the town, but technically, do they have to? We don't know. So I think it's good to have your own team that's advising you.
Well put. Especially when you talk about all the land here is on, all the flat land has been developed. I've heard that a million times. And that everything that's being developed now is on great slopes and very, even if you listen to Concom, they'll go on and on at Blair Builders about how challenging the slopes are. And that's not our problem, but we do need to have somebody who is an expert in that when you get into such complicated activities. I would 100% agree.
and I don't have a problem with that, because in the past, the reason I like Kevin is when we got into structural issues, like with that bridge that was over there, he didn't have the structural expertise, nor did, I can't remember his other engineer that left and went to DOT. So he went, what Kevin did is he went out and basically, like you said, got the experts that could advise the planning board on that. So I don't have a problem with Quinn Engineering being, if you want to call it, the project manager of subsidiary support people.
But isn't Quinn planning on retiring soon? Shouldn't we kind of, at the very least, get our own?
I hadn't heard that.
Thought I heard.
That's what I've heard, and I also want to point out that Quinn Engineering does not have a contract with the town. So there's no contractual obligations to the town in terms of what he should be doing.
You can't take a project, you can say I'm too busy for it, and so you're saying.
Right,
yeah.
right, so we need to actually cover ourselves in terms of what are his responsibilities.
You need somebody like a
contractually.
fiduciary, essentially, if it was in finance, somebody who's obligated to protect your interests.
Where are you gonna get the money?
Yeah,
The subdivision accounts.
yeah, but just my experience of, remember Dick, we asked what Sampson and Weston was charging the
Yeah.
DPW? There was an average of a yearly expense of $300,000 to $400,000. We do not have that in our accounts. Maybe we need it, I'm not saying we don't.
I think it's
But-
worth looking
I don't
into. If
think-
you told the people in the town that part of the override was to protect the town's behind when it comes to going up against these developers and protecting issues like what we're talking about with all these residents that come in, that the developers only look at them like a piggy bank, I think that the residents would be fully in favor.
And
resident-
this would actually be a part of the
Be funded by the developer,
the
right?
consulting fees that are collected to ensure that the developer is in compliance with the subdivision control agreement.
Yeah, because we could go to the town.
We're not asking for anything that is outlandish. This is completely in alignment with what the town has a right to do. So it's, as I said, our concern is not with the cost. That's not our concern.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, but the cost won't come from the town, the cost
Correct.
comes from our revolving fund.
No.
Town is not gonna pay for this, I
No,
guarantee.
Comes from the
no.
developer.
The developer, as per your subdivision control, your subdivision rules and regs, the developer is responsible for paying for those consulting fees to ensure that they are in compliance with the planning board's decisions.
And I agree with you. What I was getting at is, we're not gonna ask the town for any money through overrides or anything like that. What we're
Correct.
gonna ask for is, part of the fees that are part of the subdivision would be, go to those. This is a big chunk to bite off right now. I mean, I would personally, and again, I understand we don't have a contract with Quinn, but when Cullinan was our engineer, we didn't have a contract.
Oh,
Okay, I'm bringing up the past, they're no longer business, but Cullinan didn't have a contract with us either at the
No.
time.
I don't believe so.
So if we're gonna go that route, we gotta go through the whole bid process to make, if I'm not,
Which is fine.
Standard,
yeah.
which is standard,
Yeah.
nothing strange about that at all.
is there anybody around here?
Well, I would make discussions with the around town planners, I hate to bring up it again, but Dave George asked what Holden's got for a consultant, what they're
They
using.
have their own in-house engineer.
Oh, that's right, they got yeah, they're big enough that they got their own engineer they use.
When you do an RFP, you're not actively soliciting them, they are coming to you. And the RFPs get posted on
The MMA and,
no, they don't go on MMA, they go through something called Beacon, which
Okay.
is a nationwide place where people go to look for IFPs and RFPs. And so it's not the responsibility of the town to solicit those, you put it out there with your scope and they come to you. So there could be people that you don't even know about that would submit a proposal.
alright,
I'd just like some clarification, exactly what are we looking for?
yeah, I know, that's my discussion.
Who do we want?
How do we put an
What
RFP?
title do we want?
Yeah,
I mean,
we
can we-
that's pretty, we can discuss that when we start drafting the wording for the RFP.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
but I just wanted to just make you aware that we're starting to tread into some very treacherous waters.
Would this person be able to help us with those monthly reports that we're supposed to be getting for all
We
these
can ask,
subdivisions?
we can
'Cause I
discuss what
think-
we need to include in that RFP.
Yeah, alright.
What's the idea with Quinn still, would you submit
I'm
it to
struggling
him
with that.
too, or let him know, hey, would you
I mean,
sign
he would
on to
be
this?
free to,
And-
he would be free to submit a bid.
Yeah, and then,
Just understand, you might have too, you start dealing with out-of-state and Boston engineering firms, you
Yep.
get what you pay for. Understand that. You don't get the local knowledge of an engineer from Worcester or from
All
this
the
area.
local rates.
Well, I mean,
We
you
don't
could-
know who's gonna apply or any of that.
There- I mean, there are a number of
We're just
professionals-
opening it up and seeing
Right,
who
there are a
comes
number of
in.
professionals in the central Mass area as well, but I just would also caution against, criticizing quote unquote Boston.
Oh, I am, because I've
Well,
dealt with
so-
them on costs. And the perfect example is
It's not our
Weston and Sampson. We're getting run over the coals for them because,
It's-
But keep in
it's-
mind, we're
I
not footing the
wouldn't
bill,
say that,
Right.
so,
but we
I-
gotta,
We work with
okay.
them
This
currently.
is, I'll agree to
what were you saying,
disagree.
Tamika?
Weston and Sampson,
I
the
would
town works with
just
them.
hesitate saying bad things about Weston and Sampson, who we currently actively work with and pay them for the services that they provide, which are very different than what the planning board would be looking for. But again, it wouldn't be the planning board's expense,
Right.
it would be the developers.
important
I'm not saying anything bad, they're great engineering, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they are.
It's just the cost is,
But the cost isn't up to us, and if Blair's, or if these developers are going to be able to go use their deep pockets to go get the best, we should be able to have them do the same for us.
good enough. I'll leave it up. Before we even get into that, we're sort of getting in the weeds until we write an RFP. So we just need to be distinctive on what we're expecting from this RFP
Yeah.
and what services we're expecting.
Do we want
'Cause-
mechanical, do we want architectural,
The,
do we want
the-
environmental?
the problem is,
What kind of engineers do we want?
yeah, and I apologize for the Boston thing, I've dealt with large AEs And you typically get a lot of overhead with that. And this town, we're not a Shrewsbury, we're not a Natick, so do we need that overhead? I'm not sure.
It comes from the developer though.
We should be concerned about the level of expertise and the responsiveness of the consultant.
We've never had a problem with Quinn, Delia. I have not had any issues. So if that's the problem, is Quinn, I'm gonna struggle with that.
Right, I never said anything negative about Quinn Engineering. What I mentioned was that we need to expand the expertise of our team so that they can adequately advise us on all the many variables that we're experiencing with the subdivisions. I said nothing negative about Quinn Engineering.
I think you can expand that expertise, and then also if you're giving a contract to somebody so that they have your best interests in mind. I think both of those things are important. And if Quinn wants to apply, he can be a part of this. There's nothing
Absolutely.
that keeps him out of
All
it.
right,
Correct.
that's fine.
Do these guys know how to chase down money when people don't wanna pay? 'Cause,
That wouldn't.
you know, we don't know if he's gonna, I'm not saying it stops this conversation or anything, but
That'd be what Delia said, that's more of the RFP that you're right in the,
they have their own legal
Reports.
team that's gonna get him to pay.
no,
uh,
I don't have an answer for that, it's just,
Yeah, I'm just curious if
I think we just,
he plays around, you know, is it, you know,
instead of answering all those what ifs, let's
yeah.
decide to move forward with that, and we can come across those questions as we
Yep.
get to them. I think it's a great idea though.
And one of the things, because the HOA in Brice is in charge of the detention ponds and all that, would they be in charge also of the culvert?
Getting back to,
great question. I see what you mean by.
Certainly part of the
failing.
stormwater.
But it's part of the road, so is it the town? Is the town gonna accept that and the whole thing? Responsibility's gotta, you know, I hate seeing the town held for something that's not gonna last forever. I don't know, it's just, we're dragging up on an awful lot of questions.
It's a lot more questions than there are answers,
Correct.
and I don't think that's gonna change a whole lot.
No.
Every time we answer one, we're gonna get 10 more.
Okay.
And we still haven't resolved that open space
Well, do we wanna,
problem too.
do we wanna start the process of having Delia work on an RFP?
I think so.
yeah,
Okay, let's get her done.
See what happens.
Alright.
Okay. Next item, Wachusett Road, A&R update. This is just to put it to bed. There is nothing for us to do regarding the A&Rs on Wachusett Road, period.
Yeah, I was gonna give some update of what I found out on my research is that multiple planners that I've spoke to, about the A&R, that they don't believe in Mass General Law that there's any process for, rescinding an A&R. It's mainly land court. And, that's that. So it's a question to the board, do you wanna spend the money going to land court and fighting this, or it's in the Worcester Registry of Deeds recorded?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can, and again, that's just my research, just me personally, I didn't,
I'm gonna call that good enough.
alright,
And the thing is, the language in Mass General regarding A&Rs is very brief. There is not much in there at all about it.
and that was what the three planners I spoke with was, there's no procedure
Yeah.
in Mass General Law for doing a rescission of a A&R. That's why Deval Patrick had commissioned that group to come up with that book. That was a guideline to A&Rs to help before the A&R was approved of what to do. So, that's
Okay.
it, that's all I got.
Any other discussion? There's the next item. I'm gonna bring up a couple of things. Dick, you had sent out an email, didn't put them directly on the agenda, but you're asking about the master plan.
Mhm.
I guess I'm just gonna say right now, I would like to direct Delia to get a hold of CMRPC, get an update on exactly where it is. Also get a hold of the Open Space and Recreation Committee, find out where they're at.
And where that one is.
I think and I think we should also contact the selectmen and ask them what's going on with the open space committee, cause we don't have any control over that. You know, are they meeting, or do they have enough people to have a quorum? Where's it going?
No, we have a couple of vacancies at least.
Okay.
Norm, if I may, the chair of the Open Space Committee is still actively working with CMRPC. They just extended the grant to continue the work to finish the OSRP for the master plan. So the most recent email, I wanna say, was maybe 2 weeks ago.
So
So it's still active.
can we ask for a completion date?
Yeah, I think we have to, because the planning board's been done with this master plan for, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but at least 12 months?
Well, over a year, definitely.
Tamika, when did you bring it up? Was it not in October 2 years ago, roughly? To
Did I-
read the master plan?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was either 2 or 3 years ago. It's been a long time,
I just,
very long time.
Well,
we can't do anything. We can't vote on it to approve it. We can't get it,
Like I say, it was supposed to be the 2023 master plan.
yeah.
Yes.
We're
Then it
into,
was supposed to be the 2024 master plan. Now the 2025 master plan, let's not make it 2026 master plan.
yeah.
Too late.
You know,
We're already in the calendar year.
well, anyway.
But I just showing you
Okay,
that road list and
The road map, right?
the road, the map, well, it's the map and the road, list of roads that Central Mass is supposed to straighten out.
Okay, which we got an initial version of the map. Was sent back to them for some corrections.
Correct, we had some corrections for it and haven't, that's it.
I do have an update.
Okay,
After our last meeting, I reached out to them. They finished everything that they could, but there were still some questions that they had, which were sent to the town clerk's office, so he can't move forward until he hears back from the town clerk's office, with the questions that they had.
okay. So it's in the town clerk's ballpark.
Can't we, before
I'll
we go
take that
past
back.
that. Anyhow. I guess what I'm asking, is there any chance that we can get a copy of that so we could see what questions are?
Questions were,
Yeah, and help if we can, cause I really wanna get this map finished.
I wanna get both of these things finished.
And I'd like to see it certified. Oh, wait a minute, it was 30 years ago I started asking for certified road list.
Uh,
Not
Cause that
only-
road list would help you out if, when
Yeah.
somebody comes in with a plan. If you had that certified copy of the road list. So we need to help our planner out by getting that road list finalized.
Yes.
so. Okay,
Anyhow, that's my take.
next item, public comment. Anybody?
Hi, Amanda Ando. The three of us are here like we have been, or at least, there's at least been three of us. We were wondering if the planning board has had any developments with the erosion on Palmagussit and Brintnal.
Anything I saw was Quinn.
So we did reach out to a couple of firms requesting a quote. These are firms that specialize in erosion and runoff investigations. So I anticipate that we should have a few quotes for the planning board to review. My understanding is that the procedure will be that the planning board will review the quotes, make a recommendation on which is the preferred firm, and the select board would then sign the contract. So we should have an update at the next meeting.
I don't know what that was about. Runoff. What happened to the volume?
That'd be the public comment.
Okay,
So once we decide on a firm and, or on a recommendation for a firm and then it goes to the select board, then that firm would do their own investigation?
Correct.
Okay.
They would do an investigation, provide us with a written assessment of what they have found. And we've also requested that they make a presentation to the planning board so that there's an opportunity for questions and answers.
It doesn't matter to me where the funds come but just for transparency, where would the funds for that?
It should come from the 53G account, if I'm saying that correctly, because this is to confirm that the work that the developer has done is in compliance with the planning board's decisions.
Okay.
So,
Our revolving funds would come out of,
no, not the revolving fund.
what's the 50?
Who was texting him?
I don't know, I gotta.
Can you put yourself on mute, please? I think it's Diane's phone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Diane.
I'm sorry, Tamika, I didn't hear, I don't know what the 53G is.
The subdivision account for Bear Hill 2.
Oh, okay, thanks. Hadn't heard that terminology before, so
There'll be a fight on that one.
I,
Tell you right now.
That's fine.
May I ask for clarification what this fund is? Can you explain a little bit more? You said it's a subdivision fund?
When an applicant applies for a subdivision approval, we have a fee schedule, and we collect funds in two different accounts for each subdivision. One account is an administrative fund, which basically is to help cover the cost of whatever work we have to do with our town planner or that sort of thing, legal expenses and that sort of thing. And then we have a okay, here we go, brain.
the 53G, which is the,
Because a consultant account,
yeah,
which basically is to cover the cost of any inspections or that sort of thing that happens as the subdivision is being built,
drawing reviews, things like that,
engineering reviews.
engineering,
Who funds this 53G account?
The
development.
developer from the fee
Developer.
schedule.
So the developer would be responsible for this. So
Well, the developer pays into that fund and then we are taking, if I'm correct, we are taking funds from there. So it's not directly being billed to the developer. That developer has already paid into that fund along the fee schedule as they're building along the development. So as they go along and they hit certain completion marks, they pay more and more, or different amounts of money, I should say. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon that we have to ask the developers to replenish the account, depending on how long the subdivision is active. Most often we have to ask for more funds as time goes on.
So if I understand this correctly, the cost of this engineering firm, whatever we're asking them to do, will not come from taxpayer money. This will come from the 53G account, which the developer puts money into. Do we know how much money is currently in that account?
Great question.
How much is in that account?
Not much.
$2,900.
From the professional opinion of the board, do we know about how much money this would cost?
Not until you get the quotes. I wouldn't even wanna guess that until you get the quotes.
We'll know by the next planning board meeting.
Very good.
So you'll know.
If the cost exceeds $2,900, will the board be asking for additional funds from the builder?
We will be asking whether we will get them, that's another story.
Is there anything currently in the law, in the bylaws that says he has to have X amount of money in there to cover whatever the planning board is asking?
Not particularly, no.
It doesn't state a specific amount, but it does state that the fees should be provided.
Well,
So,
yeah, there is a fixed fee. It's a certain amount plus a certain number of dollars per lot in a subdivision. Okay, and those are the initial fees. There is also language in our fee schedule that the planning board may require additional fees, okay, at certain points. I don't know if I really want to get into this, but I think I have to. The point here is if for some reason or other, the developer thinks that those additional fees are excessive or unwarranted, okay, he would likely I guess I'll say to be the least, he will be reluctant to provide those funds.
What is the stance of the planning board if he refuses to put additional funds in there? Would you be willing to speak about that at this time?
Me personally, I would wait till it happens and have that discussion, because being presumptive on a comment like that, we'd have to have the developers there'd have to be a story behind it before I can make a decision. I wouldn't wanna make a broad-based statement at this point.
I would tell him to fund the legal fees.
When this will be, if the funds exceed, if the fee exceeds the $2,900 and it is asked of the developer to put additional money in there, will that be on the town record and documented somewhere?
Yeah, because the proposals will come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will have to write in to request
Yeah.
additional
Yeah.
funds, so.
There'll have to be a document that goes out to.
I process the finances for the planning board, and so when I need to request additional funds for the account, I reach out to him via email and I CC Delia and Norm on those communications. So there is a paper trail of that. An example did that today. So there is a paper trail, and then if those funds are received, we have a check turnover process, so there's also documentation where we show us turning it over as well as a copy of the check that's submitted.
Because it would have to go to the treasurer, they gotta deposit it and put it into the correct account.
Correct, a copy goes to the accountant and a copy goes to the treasurer, and then we keep a copy for the planning board file.
Thank you.
Got a bunch of public, anybody else out there?
Yeah, anybody online? Any comments or questions? Your silence.
Alright.
Is there any other business to come before the?
Can you hear me?
We can now.
Yes,
Okay. I just sent a little chat note. I don't know if you can see it,
Can't.
but since we're discussing Wachusett Road, I spoke with the town administrator today and we looked into that the naming of Milo Way may not have been appropriate because it didn't follow the procedures that are required for renaming. And therefore, the road still is currently, because the process wasn't followed, Wachusett Road,
Okay,
if that's an issue for the board.
just information.
yeah, just information, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Can I say one thing about that?
Yeah.
I just want you all to know, we did not request that name change. The town came to us about that name change and they wanted to do it for safety reasons. Not anything we ever asked for, just so everybody knows.
Okay,
And the only reason we chose that name was because that was my grandfather's name.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
think that-
you know, it's not the planning board's concern to worry about.
no,
Stay out of that one.
Safety reasons, is that gonna be your question? I think it has to do with first responders. If it were to be Wachusett Road, Wachusett Street, Wachusett Lane, it's just easier to say Milo Way or Street Lane, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But either way, it's
The
not
name
for us.
change, the name change to Milo Way is not the issue. The process that it went through is the issue.
yeah,
And we had nothing to do with that, that's all I'm trying to say.
Good enough.
just like the process to go from a 3-member select board to a 5-member select board.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
illegal for a year, something like that.
yeah.
All right. All right, a situation has popped up in my area. And I want the town to be praised of it. It was a lady friend of mine, she was on Concom a long time ago. She lives on 68 in Glenwood Road. And she was saying how over the years, especially the last several years, her water pressure, her water volume is dropping like crazy and she is very scared. She's had water companies come in to, you know, suggest and everything else, and the well is putting out what it can. And it just so happens I found out today from my nephew that there's another neighbor having the same problem in our neighborhood. So I am thinking very seriously because of the amount of true artesian wells in a line coming from Princeton towards Muscapog Pond, which is spring fed. Rutland, I hope, has got another water source already planned and ready to jump in, because tomorrow, who knows, you may not have water in your reservoir. But I'm saying this is a shocker to me, because,
Well, it hasn't rained in a while. too.
well, now,
Not that that's it.
that's not it in a nutshell.
These are deep wells.
These are deep wells. So, and just
Sorry,
because
what does an artesian well have to do with,
the water squirts out of the well,
okay,
so it's
It's pressurized. I see.
pressurized,
Got
That's true artesian,
true artesian,
you know. You don't find very many of them.
no. But there are, I believe there's like 4 to 5 of them along Wachusett Street, and, yeah. And it heads towards Muscapog Pond. And I brought that up to Joe Buckley way back when, you know, and it's just one of those things. And then my father told me, when he was on the planning board, that they had an engineer outfit from New Hampshire. They wanted to know where the water came from, and they said it came from way north.
Yeah.
And that's all they could say, you know, were with the direction that they thought it came from.
I'm sure the town has a plan.
It's called a shaft and block it off,
Well,
and then Boston is out.
I guess, Norm, since we're in the public comment, I'll do full disclosure. I had a individual on Ridge Road call me up as a planning board member about development of A&R lots. And I told him the planning board, I explained to him about A&Rs, gave him a quick education A&Rs, and said if he has any questions about trees being taken down or any road development a mile away, he needs to talk to the building inspector about that. It's not the planning board's responsibility for individual lots. So his name was Michael Anderson, who called me. So from that standpoint, I said, planning board,
yeah.
if you've got any questions, please contact the building inspector about it. So
Okay.
that's it. Just want to put that on the record. And then tomorrow night for my announcement, it's Bylaw Subcommittee meeting. Please look over the agenda. We've got Paxton on there. Again, I don't want to go into it. Tomorrow's meeting was basically get the organization set, come up with our priority list, and then set a next meeting for the attack to get into the weeds. That's pretty much it. So I really want to have it more of a business organization meeting, so we can start getting into it. I don't want to jump both feet in until we got a plan. That's it.
And that's next door over here. Right?
Yeah, it's in the, oh God, I should know that.
Calkins?
Calkins, thank you, the Calkins room.
I don't
Yep.
remember which one's which.
But I like Dick's thought process, and I'm gonna ask Tamika this. That conference room in the annex,
Yeah,
is that available to be booked?
I
No,
believe so.
only during business hours.
Oh,
It's not allowed after access hours
okay.
for the town
Even
administrator.
if someone has a key.
Yeah, that's another thing that's coming down that's another thing coming down the pike is key
Oh.
access, so.
But I got a key to get in there, and we can go to the planning
Could you
board
just remember
office.
to close the meeting and then we can talk about the logistics afterwards? Or is there anything else to discuss?
Talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.